Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Donnie.
And I'm Nick, and today we're rambling with Geoff Pekor in, where are we? The Ojibwe Prairie Complex?
Is this considered the Prairie Complex?
I believe so, right?
Ojibwe Prairie Nature Reserve, I believe.
Okay, so we don't really know, we don't really care.
Yeah.
But well, we care about the area. We're not too concerned about the geographical names.
Sucks are tucked in for
Mine
sure.
are definitely tucked in. Yeah, because Geoff here is a bit of a fan or a friend of bugs. And so that's why we've got him on. He's probably our most avid bug photographer. Enthused. Likes to crawl around in here. I don't even like sitting where we're sitting right now. I will do so for certain things, but this is, honestly, as I'm looking around, I just keep seeing a different bug of some description. Geoff's getting excited about that. I'm getting more nervous.
Yeah, we had a few climb on our
On the gear, on the
gear
pizza.
already.
You guys will know when something dangerous comes around.
Dangerous?
Which is
oh boy.
doesn't really exist. You
Well,
know,
but
except for
there-
those Lyme disease
Yes,
deer ticks.
A couple of things here that could get us, eh? Like this is
That's
probably
about
the
it.
most dangerous part of Essex County, really.
Really, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously,
The
right?
Yotes and the Massasaugas.
And ticks
Those-
that give you Lyme disease.
Ticks. Yeah.
Do you know, has there been any of the Lone Star ticks in Ojibwe? Have you heard any reports
Have
of that?
they been found here?
There was one at Cedar Creek.
I was
going to
say in Essex County.
Yeah,
I think so. I'm not sure about Ojibwe specifically.
there must be ones.
Oh,
That should make
but-
that your ambition to find. Don't get bit by
I don't
it.
even want to know if you find one. I'd be so devastated.
Yeah, it's
I
terrible.
just avoid them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to look for any Lone Star ticks out there, but
So, you've been shooting like macro photos of bugs for what, a couple of years now? Is it even a couple of years?
2019.
2019.
Pretty much the end of July. Well, I got my camera in July 20th, I'd say.
Okay, so who got you and how did you get into it? What were you always in this area crawling about and then you decided I'm going to take some shots of these or what? What was it?
Well, long story short,
You can make it long because we need to fill
yeah,
the podcast.
you gotta fill it up for some time. All right, here we go.
What'd you have for breakfast that day?
It all started when I was like 2 years old.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
But honestly, it did pretty much. Like roaming in my backyard when I was a little kid. Love bugs. I always had bug books growing up, and I learned about, a lot of the different types of insects and that. But as far as photography and photographing them and macro photography, I started off chasing birds around, photographing birds and stuff. And when I got my DLSR, that was pretty much the plan, like maybe shoot some butterflies if I saw them. But one of my friends, Mel Diot, he gave me this macro attachment called a Raynox, which you can put on any regular lens because I only had my kit lens when I bought my new camera. And I mean, it takes amazing macros, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, so we did do a show a while ago where we mentioned, because I have the Raynox as well, regular macro lenses as well as that, but like just a word to anybody is that it's a relatively inexpensive way
cheap.
And you get phenomenal shots. Like throughout this podcast, we're going to have some of your shots coming up. If you even can recall some of the stuff, we'll try and get that in sync with whenever you say it. But it's not important. We'll just show some of your shots because they are phenomenal, and it's crazy. Like some of the stuff, the macro, I used to do basic macro. Some of the stuff when I'm out at the start of the year and spring just starts to hit, and all the early pollinators come out. I'll just go out and shoot at some of them. When it gets this time of year, I'm not so keen because, like I said, I don't really want to be covered in ticks.
Not a lot of people do want to. I hear that a lot, actually. Like it's common, like to not want to be out in the taller vegetation. I mean, it comes to a point later in the summer where even I don't really want to go out there, but
The addiction drives you.
the addiction drives me. And I
What's
use a lot of bug
What
spray.
are those pink bugs called again?
Which ones?
Katydids?
The
Oh,
katydids?
yeah, the
Yeah,
katydids,
those things are
pink
cool.
ones.
Yeah, so Geoff, you found like they're the pink. So normally, if you do see them, they're cool still, but they're usually green.
They're usually green, and they blend in with the foliage very well.
They almost look like a thorn.
No, that's a different. You're thinking of the tree hoppers.
Oh, yes.
Tree hoppers. We can get to those after.
Sorry.
Glad we got
Sorry.
him on here. That set you straight. Nick's wrong facts.
Yeah.
So,
Stupid question of the day.
yeah, I'm gonna start talking about this. So so back to the pink katydid. So normally they're green, but
Remember the green? There's a genetic mutation that can cause some of them to be pink, orange, yellow, maybe like a mix in between some of those colors. But some of them are bright pink.
That's wild.
And they're not, you wouldn't want to call them rare, I guess, but they are uncommon to see.
Right.
And as far as my understanding, like, not an expert, is that it's just the area we have, there's a concentration of who knows how many years of them, but since we're getting left with this small park here,
Right.
there just happens to be more pink katydids congregated.
That's pretty cool.
When you found the one, like you found more than one in one area, right?
Yeah, I think it was 7 I found last year, and my friend Tom Prenny found one as well.
And that's like
So
just
that's
one
8.
little area.
Pretty much
That's wild.
one general area.
Huh.
And that was my hopes this year, was to look in different areas this year.
Now, are you going to go back to that exact spot
Yeah.
this year just to see if that?
Yep. I'm going to check that spot out and then look at different spots to see if there's just a bunch of pink katydids all throughout the park here in the
Right.
nature reserve, or if it's just was that isolated area. Maybe it was one round of eggs and a
Right.
bunch of pink ones came. Like, I don't know too much about
So it's like
their biology,
right,
but
yeah, this is gonna be another complete hack and me trying to explain things. So would that be the same litter?
Litter, yeah.
Yeah.
Litter, they were litter mates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be like okay.
I
That's
forget how many eggs they can pop out, but I would guess a couple hundred, maybe, I don't know.
really. Huh.
So maybe maybe there were 10 or something pink ones that came out, and that's why they're all in that same general area. I mean, we're talking probably like 200-yard area,
Okay.
200-300 yard area. Like,
good
it's
little-
pretty. Yeah, it wasn't like a little pocket, but
But so the one where you had like 4 in one shot, you just brought them all to one spot, did you? They weren't on that same branch when you got them or what? Or?
yeah, those ones were collected
Okay.
and photographed together. Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool.
But it is pretty cool. But and it goes back to thinking. So whenever you're sitting, you like you say, you look for something catches your eye, but literally within that second, so your eye starts to focus on smaller bugs, and then your eye focuses on smaller bugs again, and smaller bugs again. So using the Rhinox, so yours is at what, the 250?
Got 250 times.
And then you really do need a flash, but you've got now the diffuser system here.
Yep.
You found that made a big difference. Diffuser.
Huge difference compared to just your regular flash
Just get a
system.
nice soft light.
Like, yeah, the reflections that you get off a lot of the hairs that are on insects, it reflects off that. It creates like darker shadows, I find.
Nice.
So there's a huge difference right away when you switch to a diffuser.
So
And this product is amazing.
and we'll actually put a link to that, but you can get that online. This MK diffuser.
Yep.
And is it for any flash, or do you have to say what kind of flash you're using? Is it?
He will custom make them to your gear.
Okay.
So there is usually it's a distance from under the flash,
okay.
under the lens. So it does differ between brands and all that. But he does work with a lot of different.
Oh, so it's actually they are actually custom made. It's not
Yeah.
like just a generic thing.
No.
Okay,
No,
that's
no.
cool.
So much does one of these cost?
So mine when it came, it's like $200 US,
It's not bad.
and then just like $20-30 shipping at the door.
Yeah,
Right.
take a
For,
gander
like-
inside.
Yep.
Oh boy.
For like
boy.
what do you call it?
Oh wow, it's way different than I was expecting.
What did you say?
Customs.
Like I don't know. I thought you'd be able
Is
to see
that light
like,
on? Don't turn that light off. Got lights on there.
Is the light on?
I think so.
No, I think
Some
it's off.
reflecting just
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how good my eyes are, eh?
That's actually really cool.
It's kind of heavy, eh? Though.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so you've got this system. Like I said, it's a lot of this is relatively inexpensive. We talk about. We always try to say to people on all our podcasts, we try not to. Some of the stuff we've done is gear heavy and expensive. This is relatively inexpensive, right? So it's like a couple $100 for this. Your kit lens, which is probably everybody's going to have some sort of lens they can use, and the Rhinox filter, which we went through. You're talking $150 for to the door.
Yeah, but you get them used. I mean, even
Yeah.
Yeah, even better for sure.
So it's relatively inexpensive, and again, if it's something that people are enjoying getting into, it's a whole different little world here, And like you say, being a kid, nearly every kid loves little creepy crawlies, right?
Yep.
And something to be interested to get your kids into, or you got family members or whatever. It's a good way to show them, right? And your photos over the noticeable improvement probably since you got the setup with the diffuser, you can see the difference in it. But it's also you're obviously learning as well, right? Your shooting techniques have changed a little bit. you're looking for different things. You're probably taking more time.
Composition is really hard to do with macro photography.
Yeah,
I
that's
found.
what we
Yeah.
got.
Because-
you move it less than a millimeter, and the composition's totally changed.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
and,
like I think a lot of people don't even realize like the depth of field of like macro photography, right? It's like so thin. It's
just a sliver out there.
just a sliver. That's it.
You gotta. I mean, I fire off a lot of shots with any given pose of my subject too. Like I don't know. It's one thing. I don't know if everybody does that out there, but it's a good idea to sometimes fire away. Like even
Yeah.
if you don't know if that sliver's there,
Kind of up your
if you
chances.
fire
of,
7 shots, you can get a couple of them in there.
yeah.
Do you shoot with like single point, or do you have?
I shoot single point, autofocus. My autofocus with my camera is the feature, like the D7500 from Nikon, and it's great. And I haven't looked back like using it. Like I'm always pressing my button. Like
And it locks on, and you're
like
perfect.
I don't know how you explain it. Like refocusing all the time.
yeah.
You know what I
Okay,
mean?
okay,
Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
always
yeah.
tapping it.
Yeah.
Like on the spots that I want and over. So it's not just like
You're
one
not just
snap.
locking it and away you go.
Right.
Okay.
So
I wonder how the Canon's eye tracking would stick up the macro
I don't know if it
bugs.
does bug. I wonder if it does bug eyes.
Yeah,
That'd be weird.
that would be pretty impressive if it was locking on there.
I want to see your macro sketches.
Oh, yeah,
That's what I'm looking forward
I'm
to.
gonna have to work on them. I'll start this weekend some macro stuff.
It's gonna have to be really detailed and close up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just see like just a fly or something. I just want to see those eyes.
yeah. Wow, that
What's your
Thousand lenses.
favorite bug to photograph?
Favorite bug? Be hard for me to pick just one.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all of them. Some caterpillars are really cool to photograph, but they're easy too, which
Yeah.
I like.
They don't move too quick.
yeah.
No, they don't move too quick. It's hard to get depth of field with a lot of them though, because of their spikes
Yeah,
and spines.
And they're
It's
pretty big compared
with-
to like
with my
a
gear,
jumping
it's tough.
spider or something.
like jumping spiders. I love like spiders in general. Obviously, if you see my Facebook, there's a lot of spiders in there.
Yeah.
But
The jumping spiders are cool. Like even that's like you look at a jumping spider, you assume that spider is big,
Right.
right? And when you see the picture of it, but when you look at it, it's I don't even know.
Yeah.
Smaller than your pinky
Right.
nail.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's
none of our jumpers are really that big around
Yeah.
here.
Why do they get pretty big? Not big, but like
No, like I'm sure the biggest one out there is probably
an inch.
not. Yeah,
Not
like
even.
Yeah, because like
they're not a big
the most
spider.
common one's probably the zebra one, right? It seems
That's a very common one.
Sort of decent size. You got the tan jumping spider ones.
Tan jumpers,
they're
yeah.
Slightly bigger. Well, you'll see
Very,
them more
a lot
commonly.
bigger, yeah. Bold jumping spider, the black one with the white dots,
Okay.
orange dots on the abdomen.
Yeah.
That one is one of our bigger ones that you'll see.
Look at this. Look, I'm covered.
Where's
You
that?
get bugs all over you, eh?
Nymphoid.
It's a good spot you guys picked out
Yeah,
for
thanks.
me. I like
You
it.
like this? You're feeling it right
It's
at home, eh?
perfect.
I'm feeling right.
What's the
crazy.
one like they're like black and they got like blue translucent kind of colors in them?
Black and blue trans. I mean that's a lot.
Just name some because
This is
you
a lot.
Just, I don't even
Like a moth, maybe?
No,
like,
no,
what
like a
kind?
spider.
Oh, a spider?
Jumping spider.
That's blue.
No, it's black with like you get like bluish. I think I've
Like
taken a
that's a-
picture of it before.
Clear legs?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yellow legs? Black?
I think black legs. I don't know.
Okay. Black legs with blue with pink head, unicorn.
Because all I did was call it jumping spider.
Yeah, that's good.
They have like blue fangs, like the blue
Yeah, yeah,
blue there. Sounds like a bull jumper probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it was all black,
Yeah,
probably had the just darker markings on it.
they're pretty cool.
But yeah, jumping spiders are really cool. We got some really rare ones or uncommon ones around this park here.
Now, so you being such a lover of bugs, we had to walk, 50 feet to get
Yeah.
to this area.
It's rural part of the county.
Do you not just feel like you're crushing so many of these bugs?
Okay, so like let's go to the ethics part of looking for stuff. So I mean, walking around, like obviously you're gonna step on something just like when you walk out your front door. I mean, you look at it, you can always compare it to driving to wherever you went
Yeah.
that day. I mean, you unintentionally kill hundreds probably of insects a day if
Yeah.
you're driving.
It's calculated
How's that
risk.
make you feel?
I mean, there's probably some cool ones, man. I've seen pictures of people that put nets in front of their car and they collect them all.
Oh, is that
Scoop
really?
them all, eh?
Scoop them all up going up north for a trip or something. I've seen that.
That'd be good.
In a
Just
book.
getting up there in a big, thick, just half-inch thick.
Yeah, like, you got a pickup truck and it's like a big funnel. It just dumps
Fish
them
fly
all in the
swarm
back.
comes
Oh,
and-
that'd be-
It's all
that'd be
fish.
gross, eh?
that's
But
my,
anyways,
my
yeah.
least favorite bug.
Fish
flies.
fly?
Oh yeah.
Least favorite bug, yeah. Fish flies.
Really,
They're
that would be
cool.
your.
Oh, yeah, because it's like they're so common. They smell.
They smell when they're
you
together.
prefer mosquitoes over fish flies?
Yeah.
Wow.
Come on.
I think so.
What would you?
See, that's a tough one again. Like least favorite. Like
Oh well, like what over?
which one bugs me the most?
The fish flies offend you more than any
No,
other?
I love fish flies.
What?
No, like when there's a pile of dead ones that are like stinky.
Stinky.
I mean, yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
you-
if there was a pile of dead caterpillars, it'd still
Right.
stink too.
You
You
gotta
know,
live near
like
the water, then your opinion might change.
Geoff's a fisherman.
Yeah, but like,
I love
but
fishing.
you don't get the fish flies at the boat so much.
Oh, okay.
But
Oh,
like,
I know all about fish flies. I know what you're saying. Trust
oh
me.
man, I don't know. I think I'm still 100%. Or I'm sold on my energy drink B12 supplement.
But I drank them.
Yeah, you get eaten up alive. Like we went to we went up north last week or 2
Yeah.
weeks ago. There, Paige's dad covered with mosquito.
Is that
bites.
supposed to help?
Well, there's some weird non-science that like
B12?
that people like hunters would get a B12 shot before they'd go hunting,
Yeah.
and then supposedly it stops mosquitoes, but or
Oh,
like
boy.
not stops them, but limits them quite a bit.
Could
And,
prevent some, but yeah, it depends on the density of the mosquitoes in that
Oh, yeah,
area.
I'd
Just
imagine.
like black flies, like there's a point where it doesn't matter.
But then it's
what you got
weird
on.
too, though. Like then you go with some people. I won't get bit by anything. Then like I'll be out with a buddy and he's just getting mangled.
Mm,
So it's like, what's the difference?
just I don't
Monster Energy.
know.
Well, I would have to compare. Then I would be totally getting destroyed if I didn't drink that stuff then,
Probably.
because I still get destroyed.
There's
I get destroyed.
There's got to be some science behind like something there.
There probably is.
Oh, yeah,
I just haven't googled it. I need to
Yeah.
Google
Yeah,
it. And
well,
that's
it's
good.
tonight's wormhole.
Yeah. So usually we get this time of year, so we're into sort of July, August. Is that your most active time? Like, when's the most active time for the bugs, or the best time? Would you say?
Well, definitely early summer. I mean, there's always different bugs at different times of the year.
Right.
Springtime has, bugs that emerge right away, or some that overwinter as adults, so they're out earlier. And then some eggs overwinter. A lot of bugs, it's the eggs or the nymphs that overwinter, and so they're just starting to grow into adults. By the time summer hits, late summer even. Like
Yeah.
walking sticks. I mean, they won't be adult pretty soon, but.
They're cool.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
finding baby ones right now, and they're literally this big. you
See,
know.
that's normal. Like, where I grew up, we didn't have anything out there, so people used to buy pet we call it stick insects. You'd buy them at the
Buy them,
pet
yeah,
stores,
yeah.
So they must have shipped them over or whatever. But I think that one we seen at Peely last year at the.
Yeah, that was a
Park,
good size one.
That was a good size, and I think that's the first one I've seen in a while.
It was a big
Oh, yeah?
one, big female probably,
Sure.
like a plain brownish
Sure.
color looking.
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know?
Have you seen the males, the small ones? They're smaller and really colorful.
No.
They look like a
Oh,
bamboo stick. They're kind
oh,
of
okay.
shiny.
Really? Huh.
I'll have to keep an eye out.
Yeah, males only get about this big,
Oh, okay.
and then females,
Well, she was probably
about
about the last size, about
4 inches or
it was
so.
Definitely more brown.
That is like
they'll
the
be fatter.
coolest. That's got to be the coolest bug. One of the coolest bugs we have out here.
They're cool.
Top
Yeah.
5 out of the
Well,
10 bugs.
but it goes back to like, the more legs that Geoff, a couple other guys we follow and that they're friends with, share their pictures. It does bring a whole different world to life. We do a lot of photography and we start off at landscapes, so we're pretty much taking in everything as much as you can in the lens.
Yeah.
And it goes right down to what you're trying to do is shoot the smallest thing possible. And the stuff that comes up is
It's things that no
phenomenal.
one gets to see.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about doing it and like sharing my photos on Facebook. Like I've noticed, people are seeing things that they've never seen before,
Right.
and half the things I've never seen before. But when you get a chance to see them up close, the next person or the next time someone sees that bug or
Yeah.
something similar, they might give it some more respect.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's almost like you're making your own field guide by like posting the
Yeah, absolutely.
the picture, and then it's like, oh, I look at the picture, I know what that bug looks like now. I know the name of it.
It's
Yeah.
the importance of macro photography. It's huge for entomology in general, I would say. Before there was people, you had to collect the bug and pin it or whatever, and then you study it. And now if you take the right macro shots,
You get all the information you need.
yeah, that's
All the-
something that
all
I've
the
been
DNA.
doing is helping some people at the university, ID bugs for them
Oh,
that
yeah.
I found here, and they end up being like records,
Yeah.
for the province or the country.
What,
which
so
is
what would
pretty
be
cool.
like your rarest find?
Rare is fine.
Last year you found
I mean,
something.
there's
Was the first one? Was it first? What was the one you did?
There's an Okapyrus spider, which is a cool spider that I photographed twice in 2019,
Okay.
and ended up being a new genus of spider to Canada. So just not even that species, but the whole genus.
Really?
Like, and normally they're found more south, obviously.
And it's kind of weird here that it would show up here when we're waterlocked. Like,
Well,
you know what I
that's
mean? Like,
one of the coolest things about, like, since I found a bunch of new records from what I've been doing. Tom Prunny too, like, he's been doing a lot more bug hunting out here, and we're finding like a lot of cool stuff that normally people weren't doing before. So you know, it's cool documenting. I mean, we think of the theories of, you know, like, how does like Okapyrus Spider get here like all of a sudden, like, here?
yeah, because it doesn't walk as fast as we do.
I mean, there's things that check off. I mean, like, me being there is different than someone finding it and document. Like, I don't know, but like, I do a lot of walking around here.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's like theories of, you know, did the spider, we're a big transportation hub.
Right.
Yeah,
And I like any one of these theories, like transport truck, train, the train yard,
Snowbirds.
even that shipping port. I mean, isn't there one right here?
Yeah, we're really not far from the biggest border crossings
Yeah, well,
in
that's
North
it. So
America.
they probably just go
Hitch a
over.
ride.
There's probably like a border crossing there.
Just for
like
them.
Canadian
Just for
spiders
them.
on one
Yeah.
side
Just for them.
and American spiders the other side.
They use the Ambassador Bridge, man. They just
Yeah,
crawl
they just
over,
crawl
man.
right
Just
over.
taking their time. Just
Yeah.
Grab on a
it's cool.
transport truck, hook around the
Uber,
park.
Uber for spiders or something.
But I do like the train theory too.
Right.
I mean, for a spider like that, I mean, a train sits in the yard there along the
Right.
front highway
Yeah.
road there for a while. Think of it that was parked down south,
Right.
whatever,
it's
and a
absolutely
spider just sits on there, lays an egg sac.
It's
Yeah.
more than plausible.
And pull it up,
Yeah,
so-
yeah. It's a
That would I love to crack. That one. I've always
Yeah.
like, if you could just
you gotta
somehow
get little
document
GPS trackers. for 'em.
exactly.
It's-
Like, I want to scan like all the carts that come in like one day. Like,
Oh,
That would
fresh
be
ones.
interesting because guaranteed to find some stuff that you would not find.
See,
here
that,
normally.
and that comes back to a lot of stuff. You're definitely guaranteed to find these kind of things, but at no point is anybody going to pay for that kind of research unless it becomes a species.
Well, that's
That's a dangerous species, and then you're behind the 8 ball, right? Because you're not going to be
Just-
it's going to cost millions of dollars to try and do anything.
hold up the train.
Yeah, you know, trains holding them up. Every cart meticulously going over with a
Yeah.
macro lens. And
Could
your
you imagine if it
magnifying
was though?
yeah,
That's it.
transportation would go to a halt.
Cart 1, it's like 4,000 macro photos of
That's it, yeah.
every crease
Here,
and crack.
have a look through those.
You don't
See
get
these
another
snails.
chance at it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, it wouldn't be bad if they let you do one cart every so often, like just dump one that wasn't really
I
important.
just go there at nighttime
True.
and like use my little
Oh, what is this guy?
fake light and
crawling
like
on me here?
just trying to get caught.
Get caught. Well, no, they just ask them, do you mind if I go and I want to shoot this all night long?
It sounds like it'd be tough
What's this thing?
Same thing again.
with
It's a nymph.
the nymph, box elder
box
nymph.
Don't
Donnie, you know your bugs, man.
I know a few of them.
I don't know any of them.
Mine literally is just every time I see something,
You just want to learn what
I'll
it is.
You
try and
learn
learn
it.
what
Yeah,
is, right?
yeah, that's
that's
good.
like, I don't sit down and study a lot and say, hopefully, oh, yeah, I've got all these in my head now have a go out and see it. Mine is more, there's lots of box elders around my house one year. Someone,
You just know.
and just started taking pictures. Oh, I need to find what that is. Got a bug book and started looking up. Then internet. I use a lot of iNaturalist now for anything I got. The
iNaturalist
craziest
is
one I
great.
got was the ladybug larvae. Like, I
Ooh.
just thought it was a totally different bug, right?
Yeah.
Just seen this bug. And, oh, what
That's
is
what I
that?
was just gonna say with the box elder too. Is like to see the different stages
Right.
is something like that you can learn when you
Yep.
observe them, right?
Yeah. So it's crazy. You learn one thing and then most of these have different stages of life where they look totally different. No, even your caterpillars, the moths and butterflies. You know,
Yeah.
it's almost like a totally different animal. So you're learning a whole
Complete
process.
metamorphosis, and there's like a different kind of I forget, like different kind of metamorphosis. Some like go just through nymphal stages, like these bugs right here. It's not a complete metamorphosis. They just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So here's another stupid question.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
So I know like monarchs migrate. Is there
Mhm.
any other bugs that really migrate?
There's other butterflies that
Dragonflies.
do.
There's dragonflies too.
Dragonflies, some dragonflies do.
But even the monarchs. So the monarchs that come from here to Mexico do it in one shot.
They're not from
But on the way back, it's like a
Yeah,
different
on the way
time
back
and
they
stuff.
go to
Generations
Mexico.
or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was a fun fact I learned last year, and I was blown away.
Super monarchs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They fly all the way down. They sit in Mexico and then they go up to around Texas and then they lay eggs. They breed, lay eggs.
That's
And
the
those
end of
eggs
it.
hatch and then they fly up. And some probably can go from Texas to here because we get some pretty early in the
Right,
spring.
yeah.
They might be straight from Texas. and then or they'll stop off somewhere like between Texas and here,
Yeah.
and then they'll do a couple generations here, and then the last generation doesn't feed.
Doesn't feed, just lives.
Or sorry, doesn't mate. Doesn't mate, lay eggs and stuff. All it does is feed
Feed.
and gets a lot of energy and stuff.
Okay.
They actually are
Praying mantises in
bigger.
there, and they're a cool one. Creepy
Yeah,
one.
Praying
And
mantises are cool.
Isn't it true that, so they're, the egg sac of them is the abdomen of the female or whatever? Like that's isn't that what it turns into, the end of it? Or
Well, it
Looks
it's,
like your abdomen
it's
or
shaped
whatever.
like that, but
It's not? It's like a
I
sack,
forget what
right?
it's called, but it's just like a foamy sack.
yeah.
The eggs are laid in there.
See, somebody told me it was like, that was pretty much.
Ocanthia
Like,
or
do
something
they-
it's
they
It
called.
could
still
be like
lay
an old
eggs?
wives' tale that somebody maybe told me.
Yeah, it must be.
Because it kind of looks like, you know, the
I know what you're saying.
It does
Yeah.
look like it. Like it's
Uh,
it's different looking though, but it's more like a foam patch, you know.
They're creepy too. Creepy
They're
cool.
cool.
Creepy in
Did
a cool way.
You had some of them? Did you pictures them the other day? Somebody had pictures the other day.
Mantis?
Mantis?
Or the sack?
No, just mantis. They all seem to be hatching out or something
I
recently.
found them. It was cool. I was looking for the pink katydids the one night, walking down Titcombe, and one caught my eye, and I noticed it was upside down on the leaf, and I got really excited because I thought it was a pink katydid molting,
Oh, yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be
Oh,
sweet,"
yeah.
you know. And so I got all my settings ready on my camera and got everything ready and dropped my backpack, you know, and got to go over to the leaf, and I look, and I'm like, "What? That's weird." And then there's a big praying mantis, well, still a nymph, but eating the pink katydid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, capture. I'm like, what are the odds, you know? Like, so I got some cool pictures
Nice.
of that. That's something random that,
yeah.
you know.
I think, you know, obviously people get a bit upset whenever you see some of these natural things
Well,
happening. But
That I was worried about that. I never actually got any slack or anything. Like, people trust me. Like, it was a straight up
right,
observation.
exactly, and that's important, right? But and the best wildlife programs you ever seen is when it shows you nature
The
when
true
it's
nature.
raw. It's not contrived. It's not somebody, you know, going to a zoo and throwing a
Yeah.
piglet in
Yeah.
for a big snake. You know, this is them in their environment doing what they have to do to survive.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what yeah. I'm not down for that kind of stuff.
Here's a weird off-topic kind of on-topic kind
yeah.
of deal. Did you know? So like bears, like they're like the most hunted animal and eaten animal in North America
Okay.
forever.
Right.
And then Disney came along, and like Disney made like bears like cute and cuddly, and so now we have bears everywhere again.
So people stopped hunting bears because of Disney.
Yeah, and well, everyone like us like
Likes them.
back in the day, people were terrified
Afraid
of
of them,
bears
she
and
killed them.
wolves.
They
and
gave them
stuff,
a
right?
face and personality.
Exactly,
man.
exactly.
Give
So
them
now-
a name, put a name to them.
Yeah, now people are like, oh, look at the bear.
That's
Go-
totally on topic, man, because that's one thing I've noticed with my people on Facebook. Like, you know, when you're making some spiders look cute and some other bugs look cute,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, you know, the jumping spider is pretty cute looking, you know, like, but it's got a lot of people to look at. They've told me, like, PM me, you know, like, they've looked at insects and spiders differently now,
Yeah.
and they'll try to save the next one that's in their bathroom or something. But
Just
Well, most people are
quickly
so
killing it.
disconnected.
Even the thought
from,
helps.
Yeah.
You got a bug on your cheek there. Oh, it's gone. Flew
Oh,
away.
Didn't even feel it.
Yeah,
It
it was a
was
tiny
landed.
you
one.
just let it negative.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
Right in the
a
pore,
pot
eh?
fly.
Right in the pore. It's a pore fly.
Oh,
So, listen, I think it's important that we show the rawness of nature, like in
Yeah.
so the shot of the katydid getting eaten, even though it's a nice pink cute katydid, but they are probably not going to survive as long as a green one just because of their camouflage is garbage.
That's what I think. That's the conversation comes up about that. I don't know the answers
Yeah.
specifically. I mean, I don't know. It'd be hard to study, but
what if, like you brought up a couple times? You do like a lot of stuff at night.
yeah.
Why at night?
So they're more active.
Is it? I don't know.
Well, no, because I do some spider surveying and stuff
Okay, they're
for
only out at night.
one of the universities, and you know, it was suggested to try hunting at night for some of the spiders. I'm like, oh, it makes sense. And I'm trying to think if I maybe gone, like, I've gone mothing, you know, at night, but I don't think I had gone like actually just out. So I went out with flashlights and I never looked back. Like, it was awesome. Like, there's so many different bugs out there.
So you're more
it's
active.
quiet.
Like, what's your sort of time? What's your prime time?
I like to go, you know, anywhere from midnight, 11. Sometimes I'll go at 4 in the morning. You know,
Just
like,
A
whatever.
couple hours at a time.
depends what's going. Yeah, a
Just
couple
around.
hours at a time. Just see what's out there.
You
You
ever
know?
try UV lights or anything like that and see if it? Is there any like? There's got to be UV.
Oh, yeah, stuff.
Like for a reaction with
yeah,
the
like
subject.
bioluminescence or something.
I have a UV light. Like, it's an old like one use in your like basement or something, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
for like a party or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
And I shone it over a caterpillar that I thought was supposed to be UV, and it didn't really do anything for me. So I don't know if I think it's my light.
Right.
Probably the better ones. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I would like to do that
Yeah,
too.
that'd be cool.
There are some
gotta be
subjects out
Also,
there.
one of the-
There is.
When we were up in the Bruce last year with mine, was it a big moth? Was it a moth? Wasn't
Oh
it?
yeah, that was. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Giant moth?
Yeah, and it was
Yes.
like coming. They're like flying to the light.
So at the UV light on, we're walking because we're looking for like the reflective stones, really.
Yeah.
So I was just walking around with the UV light the whole time. I'm
Started
thinking,
following
and
you.
this thing is just flying straight at me. I'm not trying to get rid of it. It's constantly coming
He's
to me.
following your
It's
light,
like-
eh?
Well, it's like remember that went to
Oops.
Superior with Jerry Kaiser last year,
Right.
and that plover. Remember that? Did I show you that picture?
What's this one?
What is that? That's what I seen earlier.
Green, bright green with a. Oh, just like this flew off. Little bright, silvery, like reflective green body, clear wing with a little black on each side, little fly.
Little fly?
Yeah,
Ooh. Like shiny though?
shiny.
He's all shiny?
Yeah, all shiny. His whole body. Was
Long-legged
shiny.
fly?
That's it. I had
That's
long
it.
legs as well, so we'll go with that. Yeah, so it's
Sounds like a
So,
long-legged.
we were up in Superior there, and we were looking for the Uper lights,
yeah.
and then we're shining like UV lights around, and this plover came. It was like a cat
yeah.
with a laser pointer. It was like chasing the beam of light around.
Yeah.
It was weird. So. I don't know, a lot of animals are attracted to UV light for sure. Well, they use a special light for moths.
They use it
don't
for mothing. Yeah, the UV lights. Like I have that same bar light I was telling you about. Like I put that in my backyard with just a white sheet.
Yeah.
And I've got like tree hoppers. I get different moths. Like it's not
You said a
my
sheep,
backyard is not prime spot for doing this.
but you're pretty close to here, so it's
Pretty
not-
close,
yeah.
but I'm not calling in nothing from over here with my light.
No.
Like my backyard's just
You need to put like a
boom and then
100
dead golf
footer.
course.
Oh.
True.
I got a couple maple trees in the back.
The
Do
golf
you
course
put a
is
sheet up every night
aside.
and just leave it?
No, I don't do it every night. Just once in a while. But
So I often thought, is it like something you have to do habitually, or is it if you do the one-off, spray a couple
No.
of trees with sugary stuff and put the light up and you'll get all the good stuff?
I mean, I've seen it happen up north where you got a porch light on, right? And that moth will like stay underneath the plant leaf right underneath it all day.
Right.
And then nighttime comes up, he's back on the wall.
Hmm.
So, yeah, if you did it habitually, you probably get a lot of stuff that stays around.
Yeah, I think I should do. All the time, I'll leave the porch light on my deck beside behind the patio doors, and I'll get up to pee during the
You
night
should make a
just
sheet or something too.
Well,
I mean, you just get
I'm
a
just lazy.
white sheet and frame
But
it with wood so it's tight.
But don't they?
You just pop
Don't you
that
have
up.
to like say after 4 a.m. they'll go off it again? Like they're there, and then if you leave the light on all night by an hour or so before sunrise, they're off into the trees again.
I mean, some of them first crack of light, I guess, probably. I mean, it depends on the species.
Yeah,
I don't have too much mothing under my belt. I've
Yeah.
done it, a bunch of times, but
Don't do it near June bug or a fish fly season.
well, that's I've seen a couple of people. Somebody had a
caddis
fish,
flies are the worst.
who had a sheet up there last week and just had it covered in fish flies.
Fish
Somebody
flies?
posted in Essex area.
That'd be the worst. So,
Was it Mark?
Maybe it was.
He's
huh?
out in there, like Maidstone area
Yeah.
sometimes.
Possibly.
It'd be the worst
oh yeah.
So
for you too, for sure.
Yeah.
Your worst.
that was worst nightmare. You never sleep
Yeah.
again.
It'd
Eh?
just be
First time mothing out, and then it's
yeah,
all
the
fish
sheet would
flies.
stay there for the rest of its life. It would never move that position.
So
Yes.
technique wise, you said it's pretty much a standard setup. There's nothing overly complicated. You do everything handheld, right?
Everything handheld, single image.
And like I said, you try as best you can a bit of composition. But as your first priority, ID, you want to get shots just to confirm and have a nice
Exactly.
sort of
Exactly.
ideable photograph, right? And then
Exactly.
after that, there, if they're compliant, try and maybe a bit more
Then
composition.
studio shots, I
Yeah,
call them.
Get them,
Try to
get them to pose.
try to see if you can get them on a stick sometimes without, you don't disturb certain bugs
Right.
if they're like around their eggs or something like that. But
You gonna so you're thinking about going macro rails and stuff like that, or focus rails, or
well,
just give it a
that's
try?
just something. There's like an option, I have a tripod. Thanks, Donnie.
From
Hooked me up there with a nice little tripod. And I put my macro gear on it before, and like couldn't remember if I even took a picture with it or not. But I mean, just having it on there feels awesome.
right.
Like my camera's pretty heavy. Holding it with one hand and isolating a subject if you have to with the other, like you can get heavy after a few hours of shooting. But again, like, it's just my setup. I don't have real macro lens, so goes to the other point is like I do have the feature of going out to 18 millimeter. You know, it's almost like a wide angle macro.
Yeah, true.
I can shoot fungi with it, which I like. And my setup, if there's a bird,
You can take the
I just take the Rainox off,
True.
and the diffuser doesn't really get in the way too much with light coming in, and I could still fire like rescue shots of like a rare bird if I had to. Like,
but again, it does come back to the point where, you know, you can have a desire to have a single setup for this, that, and the other. Like I said, it takes away from your versatility.
Yeah,
you know,
agree.
you're saying like you're getting great shots of tiny bugs close up, making them look massive, and people don't understand how small these things are. But yet you just clip that thing off the front, and you know,
birds or deer.
Yeah,
or...
you should.
could shoot deer, the sunset.
Yeah, lightning.
It's kind of what you guys kind of noticed in my Facebook. Like, I want to be a well-rounded photographer.
Right.
Like, I jumped straight into macro when I got my gear.
Yeah.
With the help of Mel when he let me use his Rainox, and you know, I learned how to do my settings for macro photos, and you know, I pick up little tips on birds, but I don't have a real birding lens to take it seriously. If a bird's more than 20 feet away from this lens, it's not good.
Right.
It's just not good. So I just want to see what I can get out of my lens. I've been doing scenic stuff, and like I know I have the ability to do it. I got to get the focusing right. But scenic stuff, the lightning, I love trying to take shots like that.
Yeah, lightning's cool.
So
Is there any? Do you find that leading up to a storm or different types of weather patterns, different bugs become more active or anything like that? Like, you notice birds, birds whenever there's a storm
they'll
coming
shut
through,
down.
go crazy and then they're silent, and then you start to see a sort of panic in them. And then once there's a storm, like they're all jumping into nests and protecting their young and things this time of year. But do you ever notice that with like certain bugs just either right after a storm are really active or?
Not that I've noticed. This year I noticed fireflies when a couple storms that were pretty close, and they were like flying around in the thunder and rain, the initial rain that came, which I found was interesting.
That'd be cool.
And heard a couple other
Fireflies
people
are
talk
awesome.
about the same thing. So I'm like, oh, it's kind of like maybe they just went out. They didn't care if it was storming or the thunder.
Fireflies, I think I've noticed too that just at the start of a storm, it's almost like the thunder activates them and they become active.
The humid. I think it might just be the heat, the hot and the humid. It seems like hotter and more humid it is, the more fireflies I see.
Well, different ones come out different times of year too, I think. And it depends where you're at.
Yeah,
a lot of the ones around here are like really quick flashing ones. Like they're a
Yeah.
smaller firefly, I think.
Tennessee's got the ones that all sync up. You ever hear
They sync
those?
up?
Yeah, so like they all flash at the same time.
That'd be cool.
It's pretty
That
wild.
would be pretty good.
That's what I want to master, is the firefly shot.
I don't think anybody really ever has. Cause anything it is like light painted or fake.
Well, you got to stack them.
Yeah.
I've done it in one shot.
That's what I want to
It's
do,
like
is
you
get a
say that,
single
but-
image.
I did one shot, and it was just the amount of fireflies.
There's
You
a lot.
need an insane amount of fireflies.
How long was your shutter? You remember?
It was like 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. So
What?
I'd have to look at the exit.
That's
I
what
have
I'm-
it on my phone. I can get it right now.
Get it.
I want to try that because I want a single image shot, and I've tried it here, and I get these ones flash so quick.
Right.
It's
You
just
need
a
so much
green
shot.
dot.
Exactly. Tiny.
Just a green dot.
I tried in Black Oak like 10 years ago, and it was like so bright. Like, you don't realize how bright like
It's
the
dark
city
in there.
lights are in
yeah,
there.
it's dark in there.
Yeah, so it's like I couldn't get a good one in Black Oak. The only one I ever got was up north.
Because there's a bigger firefly, and like its pattern, it's bigger for one, but it makes like a J kind of, you know.
Yeah.
And it droops down. If you get those ones, you could really fill up a screen.
All right, I'm gonna try to find this here.
But yeah, maybe I should try shutter open longer at f40 or something.
No, low. You want as much light as you can.
Really?
Let's see.
How does it focus though on you gotta just put on infinity?
So it's like kind of dark, but you can see all them flying around
Let's
in the
see.
background.
Let me see.
That is beautiful.
Let me see.
That is beautiful.
No, Donnie, you don't.
You're gonna have to show that. You're gonna have to edit that
Something
in.
on that leaf over there. See the leaf?
That leaf?
And then there's a
Guaranteed
box
there
elders.
is.
There's a bunch of literally a bunch of box elders hanging out.
Oh
there.
yeah. I like it too because the tent looks like just a big dragon,
Big
a big firefly.
That's like the mother. That's why
the
they're all bright
mothership.
now.
Yeah.
Alright, folks, we're gonna take a 10-minute macro break here for some.
See, I like I like this,
It's beautiful, eh?
but also it's kind of messy.
It's kind of messy.
What do you mean? Well, like the Fireflies, they're not very organised.
Oh yeah, it's hard to tell them where to
I think it'd
go.
be cool if they all did a J. There's like
Yeah, getting to spell things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Looks like
I'll
waves or
see.
something.
It should have my settings on there.
Do you see what I'm talking? We see this leaf, right? There's a dark spot.
Yeah,
About,
little lump on it.
yeah, like
Is that something? The brown thing? Just think bug now? Is that leaf?
Look at this. This leaf is like got like 355 box elders on it.
Is that milkweed? Might be
It's not on the milk unless it's a different kind of milkweed. It's not on the milkweed. There's
those milkweed bugs will be out soon too.
Milkweed's right beside it.
I love this
What are you
place.
checking for now?
The EXIF data.
Oh, yeah, check that.
I had to probably do it at home. I think. Or
Oh.
I might be able to download
I think
it.
they actually, David Suzuki was down here a few years ago for one of his, I think, what does he do? The
I
nature
remember
of
that.
things?
Yeah.
And they did a like half-hour thing on Fireflies, and they came here
Oh yeah.
and they shot the Fireflies here, in like through like video or something, slow-mo video
Yeah.
or something. But it's pretty nice.
They are probably my.
It's a good spot for
They're your
Fireflies
favorite?
here.
They're up there. Top 5 again.
So-
Because like it's
so walking sticks,
Fireflies.
Fireflies. What else? What's the other?
Can't go wrong with a nice butterfly.
Which one?
Most of all of them.
I mean, Monarchs are pretty
King
decent.
Monarchs, or-
They're pretty decent. Well, they're like you're guaranteed. You won't be disappointed if you see one. Or
Mine's like the giant swallowtail or the
yeah, the swallowtails are cool.
Tiger swallowtail. I'd like to get more pictures of hummingbird moths, like the clear wings, and
That's the one, man. That's the one to get.
do you get many of them around here? So there's not really flowering.
It's
no
not, yeah,
flowers
not
around here,
yet. They like the wild bergamot.
right? Oh, okay.
They do like milkweed too, but I find when the bergamot's out, I
Yeah.
see most of my hummingbird moths. They are out though right now.
Yeah.
Nisus,
Yeah,
Nisus Sphinx
Yeah.
is a darker.
I think I got
similar
a picture of
one.
last year.
They've been out.
I
I
wouldn't-
got my settings now.
There, I think that's what I'm going to try and find more of this year. Hummingbird moths, and I've always found them in like areas that are really hot and humid. Like if somewhere I was working one time at a little.
Like an open spot that's like sunny.
It was open, but the houses were all around it, and there was a garden in the back, so the humidity, the heat, there was no movement of air.
You just
And
in
it's just like, and the greenway, finding in the greenway and some of the flowering plants, again, just static air, nothing really moving. Just seems to be the hotter the thing is, the more active they are. So that's my only knowledge I would have to bring to that
I
conversation.
tried
Yeah, I'm gonna
Fireflies too at
write that down.
Hillman Marsh. There was an insane amount,
Oh, yeah.
but the mosquitoes when I tried, that was before I was on the energy drink kick. That was years ago.
Oh, yeah.
A little healthier, but yeah, I couldn't get it there neither. But yeah, the settings were f2.8, 105 seconds at ISO 320. It wasn't that long.
What was
like
it saying? How long?
320.
Maybe 2 minutes.
So one idea I've had for a picture of fireflies for years, I'll never be able to get it, is I had one of my daughters who was younger at the time, had some fireflies in a jar, wanted her to be holding them, with them lighting up and then the whole field lit up behind her, so a nice little sort of picture.
That'd be a cool
But-
shot.
But the only problem was the mosquitoes.
That'd be a cool shot.
She was getting destroyed by mosquitoes, and then I started getting destroyed by mosquitoes, and she wasn't having it. But
They could ruin a day, eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it almost becomes where you're going to have to sort of, almost stack that shot as well. You're going to have to get her and the
Yeah.
like your tent thing. So she would be at the where the tent is with that there, and but try and get her lit up a little bit more, and hopefully get the fireflies lit up.
Someone like had a thing about just putting a bunch in the bottle,
Mhm.
Yeah, just
but I don't want to do that.
no
You'd probably kill a bunch
Or
or
just
something. I don't know.
just put like glow sticks, green glow
little
sticks.
glue
That's
drops.
perfect.
Yeah, it would
Just
like
put one on a glow
Yeah.
stick and have them walking on it and be
Yeah.
like, nice, man.
perfect.
That's a good idea.
I'll do that.
That's all you, man.
Yeah.
Draw that one.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's definitely it.
Yeah.
So I think we've covered a lot of the stuff. Like then we'll post some of your photos, and if you want, just send us your whatever social media you want people to connect with.
Okay.
So don't send us your phone number unless you want
No.
people to call you. Don't send us your don't send us your address unless you want people to call at your house. But so whatever you want,
You can write
people.
me a letter.
Yeah, letters. yeah.
Like
You
those.
like snail mail.
Yeah, we'll send the carrier pigeon.
Yeah. And we'll fire some of that stuff up. But so I think it's a fascinating form of photography. It's a
Mhm.
like I said, it's just like most little boys from being a kid. Some little girls as well just love crawling about in the backyard and bringing the bugs in, which their parents are usually a bit more frightened of than they are.
Yeah.
Just showing the world, man.
Yeah.
Just showing them up close now.
Yeah. So we'll try and get that up, and we'll post all your information on that, and hopefully get some new followers and people interested in this here. But like I said, I'm definitely, like, I've always been interested in it. Just and that's the part where you're saying, no, you want to be more rounded, like consider yourself a rounded photographer, want to do thing. But at some point, it is good to have a bit of a niche area where you're, you step out. Like, what you're doing is, people love it as well because they're not doing it. If you just started posting landscape pictures as well, they'll go, no, I prefer, whenever you're going from such intricate photos of macro, people get used to that. And then, like me, people used to my sort of landscape or wildlife. You got this group of people who like the landscapes, group of people who like the wildlife. Some like anything you post, but then some people now think the drawings are better. The worst drawings possible.
Those drawings are amazing.
They're good.
That's your niche right there,
That's
man.
it.
Yeah.
So I might just have to get rid of all the camera gear and just
Get a nice easel. And
an easel. Take an easel.
The easel.
Take an easel from now on.
Take an easel out there.
And it's interesting. As much as it's interesting. You take pictures, and I said that you made a post the other week about people reacting about what you post. You post what you want, right? And a lot of times you'll post a photo that you really like, and you don't get the reaction you think you're
Exactly.
gonna get. And then other times you post
one that's like whatever,
yeah,
and then
people love it, right? So just
it's
always
like,
been a face, just post whatever.
it's content, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I find is a lot. Like, the picture doesn't have to be crystal clear, sharp sometimes.
Right.
Even though it's like, it depends what it is, but other times, it's just the content of what it is.
Exactly. And you're posting it on Facebook, so the quality's crap.
yeah,
Anyway.
it's only
Facebook
2
jacks it.
megapixels.
Yeah. Huh?
It's only 2 megapixels.
2 megapixels.
Yeah,
at
2 point
best.
something or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly really new to photography, like, in this sense, and like cropping digital images like this, and learning, like, that's a whole other discussion one day. Is like just cropping, right? I mean, like, I learned how to work the camera and got a good understanding of how it works. There's still tons more to learn, like, but I got the basic understanding.
Yep.
And it comes down to cropping too, like seeing what you see in that image, and like,
Right.
that's what I like
make
take
your
pride in
composition
with.
afterwards, kind of thing too, right?
Yeah, and that's what I meant by it's tough to compose, because you can't. It's tough to get what you want in the image. Like,
Absolutely.
a couple leaves in the background
Right.
for a macro shot, and then when you crop it, half a leaf is your
gone,
composition.
And
like,
a lot of it too is
stuff.
like, to get part of the. I mean, some of the times, you're photographing a bigger bug, you're going to have to crop the bug as well, because, like, you've got some real super
the legs
detail.
popping out in the back, and
or the antennas 4 foot
Katie
long.
did antenna
Exactly.
all the time. I have to do it.
Yeah, because if you just try and get everything in,
I could spend half an hour at one image.
Right.
Like that last the Katie did on the purple flower, the nymph, like, his things. And I knew I don't like cropping off too much bug, but when your picture's this high, Katie did's down here at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta sacrifice something. So.
Exactly. So,
But you're right, yeah.
but again, and it's all part of it. And when you see the reaction of people, sometimes you have to sort of step outside of it yourself, right? And just say, I'm getting the information in. People don't know the context of it, so they never seen the original image or whatever.
Exactly.
So they've only got what you've got given them to go on. And when you start to understand the reactions you're getting from certain things, you know that you can crop off that part of the body. You know you can. You don't need the composition that it looks like a landscape shot with a little bug in it. No. But sometimes you can do that. So it's just playing around. And you're going to post a lot of content. So over time, people get used to seeing some of the really close-up stuff. Some of them, whenever a few people recently started posting more like sparrow photos and that size of bird, but with a lot more background and foreground in the picture. So the composition is slightly different. Where before everybody was wanting just to get close
Like a headshot.
Well, that's
pretty
it,
much,
portrait shots,
and
right?
The eye, bright eye. But this here, it looks nice now. It's just it's different. It's refreshing to see something that's not the same as everybody chasing
you can
after
see
the
their
same.
habitat a little
Exactly.
bit.
It actually draws you in a bit of better appreciation.
Those are some of the comments that I actually got when I was starting off from, like, I don't know, you could say people that have been doing it before, but comments almost like that I take, like, unusual angles,
Right.
different angles.
Yeah.
And I didn't take it in a bad way. Like I took
Oh,
like
uh,
great,
uh,
but then I thought about it, and I'm like, I do, and that's what I like to do is work around, not to do the traditional like shot that most people do of bug,
Right.
like straight overhead or like straight. Like I'll do like different.
And a lot of that comes from a schooled point of view. You get taught how to do it. That's how you do it. Go out and play around with it.
Exactly.
The laws of all these rules
Practice,
and all,
practice,
Yeah.
practice.
learn how to use your equipment and use it how you want to use it. You know, if people like it, that's fine. If they don't like it, you like it, that's fine too. You know, but you know, sometimes
Practice.
you go out, do what somebody else says. That's fine, but work at what you want, whatever you're out there to do. And again, a lot of yours is, you know, the photography is like the final result, but like, the importance of learning the bugs.
The
Provide
story
some
of the
information,
photo.
the story, the event, being out there experiencing it. You know, that will never come across to the people that view your photos as the
Right.
experience you had. Like, you might have a stellar night one night and you were so excited you seen this bug or that bug.
You post like a fruit fly.
Yeah, I think people never
for the night.
Yeah, people will never understand that, right? So,
Right.
they only understand it through the picture as far as what you can get across in that image, and very rarely
You're
is
right,
it the
man.
same experience. So, the experience is just as important, and people need to understand that going out, you know, photography is great to have, but the experience is always better. You know, being out there doing
Experience is
it,
always
taking
better.
part in the process is key. So,
Like I almost love bugs more than photography in a way, because when I go out there, like I'm so excited to see the bug.
yeah.
Like I notice, like, and then it's like, oh, like I gotta photograph it. You know, like, you know, but I like that I can take nice photos out. Like I can look back and say, like, that's what I'm seeing.
Right.
You know, like that's what the diffuser comes in handy for.
Yeah.
Is your images will look so lifelike. The colors retain. They're not reflective and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So, you know,
cool.
and it's a story in the photo when you can capture it looking great.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's great.
We're all our worst critics, right? And
Exactly.
looking back at photos and macro is tough, like, because like everything's highlighted.
Right.
Some scenic shots you can get away with little things
Oh,
here and
yeah.
there, but you know, macro bug, like a little bit of his eyes blurry.
It's
It's like that's why you take those 10 shots and hope you got that.
one's sharp. And,
Something's good there, but
yeah.
you know, I'd love to write a book write a book, but
We're gonna hold you to that.
make a book.
Yeah.
I'd love to make a book though, like a nice
photo
one
book
with
kind of thing.
with a lot of like I have so many images, like I post 1%,
Right.
you know, and putting little paragraph story behind a lot of them.
Yep.
Like I'd love to do that.
Mhm.
That's like the ultimate kind of thing I want to do with all this.
Right.
Find new species and
Write a book.
not write a book,
Well,
but
same thing. If you're going to put paragraphs, you have to do some writing.
I will be. Okay.
Write and illustrate.
I'll need some illustrations from you.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'll prepare
Definitely.
some of the illustrations. No
You
problem.
can start each chapter off with a
Yeah.
drawn bug.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for coming along. And
Yeah,
I'll,
this was great.
yeah. Let's say.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll get this shared in the next week, and get some more people eyeballs on your photos and what have you. But,
Yeah,
and I've always found it
appreciate that.
interesting, and it's always good to hang out with you for a bit. So, thank you. And
Yeah, thanks.
anything else there to add there, Nicholas?
I'm all good.
All right. Well, then it's a goodbye from Nick.
Goodbye from Donnie.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What about me, guys?
Goodbye.
See ya.